This is Mikey Air signing in. In this review, we'll afford the Jordan brand another chance to wow us with its introduction of the Air Jordan 9 Low in its new University Blue colorway. We'll check out the quality of the leather, its aesthetics, and most importantly, comfortability and fit. And now, it's time to find out if the Jordan brand has another winner on its hands or just another uncomfortable shoe with hard midsoles and bad quality leather. Let's roll it. Okay, so we're not going to spend too much time here as this is the same box that most of the recent Air Jordan Retros have been released with. It's the same matte black box with gold accents and a pretty gold Jumpman logo on the top. And like any other current release of the Jordan Retros, the shoes come wrapped in a thin paper with the number 23 stamped all around it. I did notice this time that this pair of shoes came with extra padding in the box to keep the shoes from shifting as not to accidentally cause any unwanted scuffs or scratches. So that was considered of Nike. And this time around, there was no retro poster card included with the Jordan 9s, which really sucks because I really like when there's little extras nested alongside the shoes, even if it's something as simple as a little card. Anyway, let's get to the kicks. Okay, so let's start with the upper. Now there's two kinds of high quality leathers being used here. Gone is that nasty, cheap, dry, and lint magnet nubuck crap that Nike has been doling out lately on its Jordan Retros. This Air Jordan 9 set has been graced with a thick cut of real tumbled leather and an equally thick cut of soft, full grain leather that both feel really smooth to the touch on the upper. And the lower tumble leather's rich blue color extends down even into its edge cut. So you get a nice seamless blend of color where the two leather grains meet, and that is dope. Attention to detail at its finest. The leather at the top, unfortunately, wasn't so lucky. Its edge cut is a bright bleached white, but in no way looks bad. It's just something to note as it's almost as bright a white as a midsole, but I think that was intentional as it matches the white accent of the rest of the shoe. Okay, so let's talk about the stitching on this set of Jordan 9 Lows. As you can see from looking at them, the stitching is almost flawless. We get a nice, accurately spaced, short, and evenly weaved threading. The lines are so amazingly clean in their parallelism that it's almost artistic to look at. And on the back of the heel, we have a plastic black Jumpman disc and the number 23 embroidered in a silverish white threading. The little black medallion adds a small but much needed accent to the mostly blue and white set. Now, the lacing system on the Air Jordan 9 is one of the best that Nike has ever come up with in my opinion. The well-designed plastic loops allow for some of the most serious lockdown with just one good tug of the lace ends. The only other pair of sneakers that have a slightly more efficient lacing system is the Air Max 95 series. Of course, it doesn't hurt that Nike threw in a pair of roped laces with the Jordan 9 Lows. While roped laces do play nicer with plastic loops for lockdown, they definitely don't look as nice as the thick ribbon laces, but that's a trade-off. You just can't have your cake and eat it too. Moving on, so the tongue of the shoe is made up of all textile materials with some plastic tumbled leather at the top where the Air Jordan label sits. And yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not real tumbled leather. You can tell just by touching it that it's way too soft and way too thin to be real leather, but it's not like anyone's going to be able to tell from a distance, so who cares, right? And nothing too special for the inside of the shoe, just a plain black lining and a really bright atomic orange insole. Aside from the thick leather, the inside of the shoe doesn't really have a lot of cushioning in it, and the little cushioning that it does have isn't much to speak of. Now, for the milky white midsole, I mean, what more can I say other than it's bright, it's white, and it's got teeth. It's definitely not one of the softest midsoles on an Air Jordan, but definitely not one of the hardest either. I'll get to how that affects cushioning in the comfort section of the review. Okay, so let's discuss the outsole. It's pretty simple in design. There's no icy soles to worry about turning yellow, and it's pretty much all white with the exception of the University Blue Jumpman logo toward the bottom. The details that make up the traction grooves are minimalistic at best, and way too cryptic to try to make out. Now, because the outsole is a bright milky white, don't expect it to stay that way after the first trip outside. I normally try and avoid light color outsoles for this very reason. It's not a pretty sight afterwards. Alright guys, let's move on to what I think is the most important part of the review, and that's the comfort of the shoe. So, when the shoes came straight from Nike, I was hoping that this pair of kicks was going to be a lot more than just good lookers. Because lately, the Jordan brand has been starting to pump out some Jordan retros with a reputation for being highly uncomfortable to wear due to hard midsoles. I unfortunately confirmed this notion of hard midsoles when I reviewed the Jordan 5 lows a couple of months ago. The soles on the Air Jordan 9 lows are really no better off in comfort than the Jordan 5 lows were. The midsoles are slightly softer on the Jordan 9s, but not much. And in all honesty, I hate paying serious cash for shoes that feel like cinder blocks. In the past, Air Jordans have always been known for their comfort, and it's sad now that the opposite is true. If you have a bad back, this is another set of shoes you want to avoid. For the life of me, I can't figure out why the Jordan brand is using such subpar cushioning, as Jordan retros aren't getting any cheaper in price. But I'll save that argument for another day. I do recommend using third-party cushioning insoles for a more comfortable fit if you're going to wear these kicks on a regular basis. But even with midsoles, your feet are still going to hurt if you're on your feet all day wearing these kicks. And the shoes do run true to size, so don't get anything bigger or smaller than what you actually wear. I'm a true size 12, and these shoes fit perfectly for me at size 12. Alright, guys, let's move on to my final thoughts. The Air Jordan 9s originally debuted in the 1993-94 season, a time when Michael Jordan had already left the Chicago Bulls for his try at baseball. As Mike claimed, it was his late father's dream to see him become a professional baseball player. Michael Jordan's short-lived baseball career was one of the inspirations for this shoe, hence the cleat-like looking teeth on the front outer side of the shoe. When designing it, Tinker also had some Japanese-influenced inspiration when designing the Jordan 9, as is evident of the Jumpman logo on the back of the heel that is supposed to be representative of a rising sun, as in the land of the rising sun, which is a commonly used title for the country of Japan. I personally didn't dig the look of the original Jordan 9s in its OG colorways or the silhouette. The shoes just always looked really awkward to me. This is actually my first time ever touching a set of 9s, let alone owning them, but it's sobering to see how much fire can be sparked from what I used to think was a very unsexy pair of shoes when you simply change the colorway. Guys, this concludes my review of the Air Jordan 9 Retro Lows in the University Blue colorway. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and please subscribe for more authentic shoe reviews.
This is Mikey Air, signing out.